Well, it's 1 minute after 7.
Linda,
So
Joyce.
I'm going to call the meeting to order. The trustees are myself, Linda, Diane, Ken, and DJ, Donna, and Rosemary. And I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name again. Kelly. Thank you.
We'll get it out.
I can see they're signed. So if I can get a minute.
You can. You have 4.
Okay. Where is it? Gotta get the name. Oh, I'd like to congratulate Rosemary for winning the David Marvin Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations. Yeah, we got this.
We didn't have to, but we wanted to. Well deserved, Rosemary.
Good job.
Okay, moving on with the agenda. First item is the approval of, so are there any changes that anyone wants to put on the agenda for tonight?
I'd like to add discussion about right away over Pearl Street.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
This would be under discussion under the last. Any other additions to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the first item, which is the review and approval of minutes of the 3 trustee meetings, May 9th, May 14th, and May 23rd.
So motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? In favor? Aye. Passes unanimously. Treasurer's report.
Previous hearings were speak. This year. Around August. Who handles the grievance meetings? Our assessor. Here this evening. He just does it by yourself. Yeah.
So it's just a one-on-one meeting. You come in and sit down with her and.
She likes to discuss for the case. Is there a lot of them?
Revenue is looking good for me.
Well, it's like all the purpose. Contracts for
And you said we've gotten the first installment of the ARPA funds. And the second one is
We'll be coming to this summer.
sometime this summer. Is there anything we're really behind on? Any that we're behind on that you can?
Let's go look at the water fields. Those that take road on Thorough Street,
Uh-huh.
up the bottom of the.
Okay. That's good news.
Nobody slipping through the exit.
Anybody have any more questions for Rosemary about the budget? Mm-hmm.
You have to post this in paper and places.
Okay.
And this states that it's just clearly a location swap.
Do you know if Alex's attorney drew a diagram of it?
I have not seen it, but.
Okay.
If minor changes in our attorney's plan.
Okay.
So this right away is, the easement is for 12 feet. That's the width of it, that's as big of it as the easement is 12 feet.
It's like a path up to the hill to his house from the green. He wants his kids to be able to walk down there and be able to go to school without having to go all the way around on Railroad Street.
Well, that's
And
nice.
since he already owns the other side, and so we're just switching easements with him. And we're actually avoiding having to tear down the wall.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah, perfect. Next time we'll be able to sign the authorization. Resolution be sent out of the village board to sell. If that, I mean, that is.
And before we sign it, will we have a diagram of it?
For our survey.
More for his protection than ours. Yeah, if he wants to do it, I don't think we need to do it.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
The court would go by what's there.
Yeah.
say, well, it's really over here. And we're benefiting them by
Yeah, it's,
not fighting.
right, it's benefiting everybody. He's paying a lawyer, right? So it didn't cost us anything.
And we wrongly put a wall in as well.
Yeah.
Right.
I have no issue with this.
All right, that brings us to the next item on the agenda, which is Palm Enterprises. Are you Michael Jansen?
Sure.
Well, you have the floor. You can, yeah, whatever you prefer. You can sit right there. I can hear you. Fine.
So, yeah, thank you, Roger, for your help. Guys, I own Putvain, Maine, which is with my P.O. Enterprises. We have a truck.
That's in Morrisville, Pizza on Main?
Pizza on Main, Marshall, yeah. And so we have a truck that we purchased last year. It was our first year, we basically reacted to the pandemic, right? We tried to expand the customer base, that type of stuff. This year, I was here with Rosemary, I had knee replacement, right? So sometimes the food truck is a big lift, right? And I have to be involved in it. So we kind of been a little bit delayed, so I haven't really worked until I felt healthy, right? So I don't know. So I can't remember the fellow who originally came and asked me to call you guys.
Will Jennison.
Might have been, yeah. And so anyway, I followed up, I talked to Rosemary, and so kind of here's, I'm just trying to put together something very simple for you guys, and we can collaborate, go back and forth. Then we started the company basically with three things, right? People, relationships, and growth. We don't have those three things, we're kind of like a three-legged stool will fall down, right? And nothing was more apparent during the pandemic, right? And so, when you talk about people, I'm talking about my kids, right? They come in, they develop, and they go out, and they come back in my board. Down in my interview, I had numbers of it, right? 14, 18, 22, 26, 30. I said, where do you fall here? And I talk. I'm the dumbest of nine. I got 6 sisters, 2 brothers, 35 nieces, and nephews. Probably no disrespect, change more back as anybody in this room, okay? But anyway, relationships. Again, relationships are very key, whether it's our customers, right? Or vendors, or anybody that we're working with. It's very important for us to connect with people. That's what we're all about. And growth for us is imperative, right? Because everything is so, right? Very difficult. And we'll despite it, right? So it's going to be difficult, right? But we've been doing pretty well. We have a good reputation. Well, thank you. We try, like people get my days when the kids have come back. They talk to me, or a teacher, PA, was they had something called Wednesday night. I don't think they called Tuesday night live before something. We were doing that for a period of time. And sometimes he goes, what do you do with those kids? We're talking. I got 2 kids and they can't even say anything. Now they're going to fess up each other, And so again, we try to instill confidence. We try to help people grow. So what's on the menu? And what we do with the truck is we do a limited stuff depending on who we're kind of serving. So we can do pizzas, we can do slices, we can do drinks, we can do snacks, desserts, we can do salads, right? And so we gotta get a mix of those particular things. The truck is set up so that we can take full orders, right? So we can take full orders and all kinds of different things out of that truck, depending on what we want to do. The other thing I was going to ask you too, as far as menu, we'll get that a little bit further. There's other things that we can work together on and do stuff with this fundraising and all that type of stuff, right? So, any questions on the menu? I don't know if you want real specifics or just kind of generalities. If you did pizza on Maine, you got a good flavor of it.
Do you do subs?
But,
Do you do subs? I mean, it's
yeah,
only.
we would do, like, if it were, I've done subs in the truck before, right? And they didn't really go well. right? But it may be different if that's, you know, because you're in different environments. I'm like, oh, what we usually do in the sub is we either do a meatball sub is the only hot one we do, right? And then we can do cold subs, right? So we've done that before, but we don't necessarily make them there, they're pre-made.
Okay.
We bring them
That's
there,
what I was-
okay?
that's good.
Yeah, the only thing that we make start to finish in there is the pizza, right? And so that pizza truck was designed to make our pizza, right? So we didn't buy anything, we designed it, we can make our pizza in about 5 minutes. And so it's very, very quick, so. We can do a number of different things, depending on what you guys want to do, right? If people can call the trailer, you can order online, they can come to the truck. We can even, if we want, if we have tables or anything like that, I can bring picnic tables. If you want to put something where they can order and pay, where they have no contact, we can do that too, right? So we have a flurry of tools that we can use depending on what we want to do as a team. Any questions on how they work? Trailer, we've done a number of different things, again, just check, basically it's food, right guys? We've done lawn games before, we do cornhole, we do music bingo in the shop, so we just do music bingo, right? And then basically picnic benches is a big thing for us because people can't really stand and eat as long as they can, but they need to sit. And so I have 4 or 5 picnic benches that I could bring down if there was something that could help. Any questions so far? All right, making it a full system.
Are you talking about tables like this?
Picnics, 6-foot picnic tables. Now, hours, I have no idea the hours, right? I just put like, hey, listen, I'd love to go 7 days a week. We would start normally 11:30, probably in the truck, we'd last till by 6:30 or 7, depending on how much. What ends up happening with the truck is sometimes we get such a volume and such a spike, we run out. Plain and simple, right? We get a spike and all of a sudden, we're out of it. And we stock that refrigerator full. We can't take it anymore. So, we can work things out, usually, so those are the things. I don't know when the green's over, I think I just saw a sign where it's right? So if it's a lunch thing, then I gotta work out the lunch thing, right? Equipment that I have, guys, I have 4 kind of refrigeration equipment. Right? Freezer in there, I got a stand up refrigerator for my domes. I have a counter refrigerator, kind of freezer. And I have the most important one, which is the pizza prep table. Right? With pizza, and then I have a gas on grill in there. Here's a grill. And a grill. Okay. So that's my setup. I have a generator. Right. I also, if we have the ability to plug in, there's some things I can plug in depending on what kind of power it is. 30
We have the power hookup there. Of course, you have to buy the power.
Okay.
We don't allow generators.
Okay.
Yeah, some people, a person lives right beside that building,
Okay.
and that would be really
That'd be terrible.
terrible for them. Yeah.
So again, if that's the case, you're going to get your power.
Well, you'd have to check out what the amperage.
It's set for over 30.
It's okay. So it would run all that equipment you have.
And then basically, right.
Come right down here. Done 30.
Just don't come to the town clerk.
Yep. Now it gets turned right on.
Is it a trailer or is it a self-contained
It's a
truck?
trailer.
It's a trailer.
How long is it?
22 feet.
22 feet?
Yeah, when I talked to Paul from all, he's going to help the inspectors. So there used to be a front there. So that's going to make sure
It's right in your booklet.
I don't remember how long it was.
it was funny, I saw it.
Did you get one?
Oh, no, I didn't.
It should be in
Oh,
there.
it's in
Yeah,
the.
he's not that it's in an area where it rains, and don't put it, that would be North Carolina.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You got to go over it.
Yeah, I just did a walkthrough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know, it's.
Mudgee's was
Make sure you guys
18
done that
foot.
before, if someone wants to walk through.
And then they had a 6-foot tank on the end of Mudgee's, remember, so they were well
Yeah.
longer than what it was.
How do you deal with, do you have a sink and do you generate wastewater and how do you deal with that?
So I have two things with water, right? I have two different, I want to say containers, right? They got wheels of 21 gallons.
Uh-huh.
One's waste, one's water, right? So one waste I pump out, right? And the other waste I pump in. Right?
And do they fit under your trailer?
The one's under my trailer, and I have a 3-bay sink, right? So when I have a 3-bay sink, basically, I can wash everything there, my hot water based on propane, right? So I use it based on that. The other thing too is I usually bring all my dishes back to the shop and wash them again.
Basically, I think what Steve's saying is we don't have a sewer hookup.
Yeah,
So if you have tanks, you need,
yeah, we'll.
You would need to dispose of that every day. The wastewater.
That's all.
so I think it'd be a great idea to have a deep start, pop down there for a while and see how it goes.
I think so too.
And the hours are great.
So like again, that's what I want to make sure, like what I aim for is try to, and I said 7:30, usually what we do is try to go through 7 o'clock, right? So we do lunch, we do that at 5, then everybody's dinner, try to get them home, they can buy pizza in advance and call. So again, we can do those type of things, right?
We have Front Door Cafe that does pastries and coffee,
Okay?
and they're probably done around noontime. I'm not sure. Or I haven't.
I think it's
I heard they got good coffee.
They do.
a good pastry.
So are we looking for a motion, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, sure. We're looking for a motion.
Motion to allow Palm Enterprises to go ahead and have you sign the paperwork for them to put your truck out there.
Any more discussion?
How soon do you want it set up?
I have one thing, so I'm waiting for a maintenance part that's supposed to be this week, right? I have to do my whole test. I was hoping to get down to Wednesday over in Morrisville, just because usually the first day they go through a health inspection, I'd like to get that out of the way. If not, I'd have to get my health inspection. I have it,
Yeah.
but it's expired this month. I got my new insurance and license, so I think there might be a couple things that I have to do. Where I need to attach some of my insurance and also electricity. Health inspection, and I have all those licenses.
How many people work in the truck?
The working truck
How many
usually,
people will be there?
1, 2. If it's really busy, we've had 3. Yeah, but that's usually not, usually 2 or 1.
Is it possible for, them to, I don't know what the sign policy is, to put a sign up by the rail trail that they're open on Main, that Pizza on Main is down in the village?
I think our policy says the one size that the coffee place has now.
It's only at there.
Yeah.
And nobody, nothing
I
can
don't
be,
think we should have anything, I don't believe when we were over there.
you know, because there's a lot of people that go on that rail trail that just assume there's nothing to eat in Johnson.
You can ask the guy that runs the bike rental to spread the word.
We want to put some advertising down there.
Yeah, sort of a couple of things that is on my list. We'll do our webpage, right? We'll ask for people to subscribe when they come down, and then we'll start to hit them with some text, and one and opt out, simple type of stuff that we just kind of set up. So I'll make sure, I'll make sure that the radio gets in there, and we can do some different things like that, like. The other thing too, if you get, I don't know what your organization is, but we do fundraising campaigns, right? So I have that truck, right? You guys want to raise money, you can do a roundup campaign, right? Get something that we can promote, right? Something that you want that we get involved in, right? We'll promote it. I'll put it on the radio. I'll push it out, and we'll raise some money and bring it back into you guys, right? And we would love to be able to do that and be successful. But hey, listen, we raise some money. That would be a big success.
Well, we have plenty of committees in Johnson, so.
Yeah, that's all.
Word and
Yeah, so get it right, then we can form, collaborate, we can make it happen, you know, I like to get that happening.
I think the basic stipulations are no generator. And you remove your wastewater and,
I don't think we ought to crowd it with picnic tables and not.
no,
How many are
we don't,
now?
have you seen the site, looked at it over closely?
Once, but at the time I went through, there might not have been any picnic, they might have put some down.
There isn't a lot of room there, and when your trailer comes in, there's gonna be even less, so we're gonna want you to put it right next to just behind where the front door coffee is now.
Yeah, right.
So
I know what that is.
you're facing into the green,
Into the grade.
and you're, yeah,
I know what you're saying.
okay, because that's where the hookup
Oh,
is.
yes, I'm gonna stop by and just reconfirm.
Yeah, actually, I'll try to swing down there tomorrow after work, and I'll put up 2 stakes, one at the back and then one at the front, just so you'll kind of get.
Okay.
That work for everybody.
Now, hey, one thing with the generator, I can do the generator in the truck, but rather use it.
Great.
Yes, oh, absolutely, yeah. That's not a problem.
Steve, there aren't any picnic tables there now. What happened to
I
them?
thought there was,
No, pardon? Just benches. Just benches. So
Yeah.
I think we do need picnic tables.
You guys let me know. The option's there for you to make a decision. I'm not forcing you.
One of us will come down.
That is part of my kind of truck. You need it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I think I agree, you've gotta have a couple places for people to sit down. And another thing we ran into with one of the previous clients that was coming there was they kind of kept a messy thing. So that's something we're gonna be kind of watching carefully on.
Hey, guys, I'd love you to get radar eyes on because I
Okay.
don't want my place looking.
Yeah,
All right.
You know,
So
that-
does he
that's fine.
supply his own trash cans?
yeah, that's what.
We usually do. We usually bring, what we do is we bring a trash can and we bring compost.
I believe it's all.
I mean, not compost.
Is it all in
I believe it was all.
And I take it all back.
okay, in our policy? Great,
That's on a daily basis.
So I'll make a friendly amendment to my motion that on stipulations that he turns in the paperwork to Rosemary.
okay,
You
so
okay with that, BJ?
Second, yeah.
is there any more discussion? I guess we gotta vote on the amendment first.
Oh, wait, you got.
Oh,
you got-
Walter.
you got Walter up there.
Sorry, Walter, your turn, you got the floor.
Thank you very much. I have 2 issues, one that seems to
Wait, hold
be.
it, we can't hear you, Walter. We gotta. Walter owns the house next door, so you might want to pay attention to him.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay, I have 2 issues. One you have addressed, which is the generator. That is a serious concern because of carbon monoxide. And so thank you is that making that a stipulation. The other thing I have not heard you address is what are the hours of operation?
Yeah, between 11:30 and approximately 7:30.
Thank you. As long as that's part of the stipulation, I am happy. Thank you very much.
okay,
I think as far as that goes though, Walter, I think we gotta allow it to what the ordinance says for noise, correct?
Just 10 PM.
Right, so I doubt you're gonna be here till 10 PM. Not much of a call for pizza probably in Johnson after
No,
that.
so if we're gonna stipulate the exact hours, I'd say, you know, we're gonna kind of ramp up here, right?
Mhm.
As we're gonna incremental, so I'd start with, we're gonna try to do Wednesday through Sunday, just start 5 days and ramp up, and if we can get to enough staffing come Monday, Tuesday, we'll do it 7 days a week.
Yeah, well, we don't regulate business hours, we don't regulate business hours.
Okay. So
So as long as you're not making any noise after 10 PM in the village of Johnson, I think you're all set.
I would sleep.
So,
all right, so we're back to the friendly amendment.
yeah, we just
So-
stipulations on what Rosemary needed.
Is there a second to Ken's front amendment? Second. All in favor of that? Aye. So now we're back to the original motion, which is to allow Palm Enterprises to bring the truck in.
Yep.
And did you second it?
I seconded it, yeah.
Okay, is there any more discussion on the original motion? All in favor of the original motion? Aye. It's unanimous. Okay, well, we look forward to having a relationship with you.
It is exciting, and it's fun, right? You know, we can try to bring some excitement.
So I'll put a stake. So I'll put a stake at the farthest point we'd like you to be, and then just.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it on the right. Rosemary, I'll play tomorrow. I'll catch up with you, okay?
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Next item on the agenda is William Chesbo, water and sewer allocation application for 723 Vermont 100C Lot B.
It's paid. Application. Allocation.
He has. Okay,
What is this for?
Water and sewer hookup
For what the?
for a house.
is this one of the houses right when you turn up there, but where the empty lot where they're gonna build a house?
You know where that
They took-
flat top building is?
Yeah.
It's gonna build a similar one for that.
Oh,
Oh, it's the same person?
Yes.
It's across from Cabin Cove.
Yeah. So motion that we allow.
any more discussion?
Did Howard have your state permits?
So motion preliminary and final.
There's a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for the water and sewer hookups.
All right, so I will read the. So we have to sign this.
Yeah, I'll get this one, you guys can sign.
Yeah, I was wondering. Come
Oh, this, one first to
Yeah.
sign. No.
Response total.
So what's,
Same number.
Response.
Explain that.
what not? Now I have to find the. So I think you might be next, Dan. You got the floor.
Basically, we're on with the river pump station, all we're high up over. Whole monitor, all around for us, it's all of them. And it's just the- Pump station begun. And that is supposed to be started, they're hoping to start this week, or last week, it looks like it's gonna be this week, possibly next week. Should be started right now, and they estimate 6 weeks.
Mhm.
They have all the parts they need for this. Basic extension. So we had a pre-construction meeting with the engineers and contractor. It's on the same page, so.
Mhm.
Get started in. We finished here the paint and for drywall. We're not gonna repaint it, because it's interiorly peeling. And so the paint over is just gonna peel underneath it. Not something that shows it's kind of a good spot. So as it peels, we're just gonna continue to scrape it. It's not lead paint, it's been tested, so just try it. Public Works forever, some topsoil, we fixed the lawn where we were damaged from plowing, we rolled and seeded those areas.
Mhm.
We received 1,500 gallons of liquid alum for phosphorus removal. The price went up by over $1 per gallon. I was able to split a load with Morrisville that allowed us to get a cheaper price for a 3,000 gallon load. So we saved $1 a gallon, and it cost $100 to split the load. So we saved $1,400 by doing it that way, splitting it with Morrisville. So
Good job.
going forward, I'll try to do that. It's only once a year for here, so we're working on the same stuff. So we can save some money. We had a belt tear on the belt press, we put on our last spare. We ordered a replacement for both belts, which was included in the belt press we had. Pre-construction meeting for the pump station, should be starting this week, we have had about $7 million on one of the two process water pumps. We're sourcing a replacement, which is being difficult, but I think we got it. We resumed wastewater equipment sampling. This period is for 9 months. Applied for the passive grant that was discussed earlier in the year, but was never sent to the turnover. It just got dropped. We applied for an underground locator for the electric department. That was denied. Applied for the material cost for carrying off the grid channels and the headworks, and it looks like that one will be approved. I'm waiting the official approval. And we'll start the project. It's for materials only, and we'll do the labor of installing it. So it's about $700 for the materials.
And you told me this afternoon that you think they already have an underground locator. This was just an improvement.
That'd be a question for Troy, but yeah, this was a newer model, and they just, and they emailed me and said they was denied. So they're pretty specific on what qualifies.
So the passive grant so there was a deadline for that grant and it's
ongoing, but money's still running. It's X amount of money.
Yeah, and it's gone.
And
It's
I was
gone.
lucky that what they did was they actually sent me an email saying, because they came and inspected what we wanted to do. They said that we're overdue on, and we have a delinquency. And I'm like, we haven't even heard if we got the grant yet. And then we find out the grant hasn't applied. So he says, if you get it to me now, you know, I can get it through, you get it through. It's there, it's just not a paperwork.
So I've lost it. So did the grant actually get sent in?
I sent it in.
You did do it.
Oh,
good. Oh, good.
Yeah,
So now it's just waiting to see.
waiting for the official thing saying we got the grant before we spend the money.
That would be a good idea.
On the water side, all form samples were negative. We had a partially put chlorine injection nozzle. We were able to blow it out, soak it in some hot water, and build up. We reinstalled it, and we also replaced the pump with the chlorine pump at the same time. Luke assisted Public Works Department for 2 days with hydrant flushing throughout the water system. This is something that I thought about for this whole maybe so we have the building lines in that building and back out of that building. Well, it's sits up halfway through the building. When we turn this over to natives, then the building's gonna have to be heated. It's gonna have to be to make sure that it's top and that line breaks. It's a 6-inch line. No drain everywhere. And
So we heat it now, correct?
we heat it now, yes.
Uh-huh.
It's something that they're gonna have to be aware of. There's gonna be electricity bill involved in that, and somebody's gonna have to check on the radio. And I don't know that it's, if we turn it over to them, I don't want to go there. It's
Can an
my
alarm be-
responsibility of anything I do.
Can an alarm be put onto that?
We have a freeze alarm there now, so if it gets down below 40 degrees, it's an outside red light that comes on.
Yeah.
You know, perfect.
Yeah.
Somebody do it.
If somebody's gotta see it, pay attention to it, exactly. We drive by it every day in the town. It's just a thought that somebody needs to.
I'm gonna talk to Alex
talk
about
with
it.
Alex and, you know,
Yeah. It sounds like we might need to have our attorney write something up. I hate to get, you know,
I'm just guessing, but they're gonna plan on using that water. We've already had that discussion.
plan on using what?
They're gonna be using that water to wash with. So they're not gonna let it freeze, so I think I don't see it being a big issue myself, but.
If they use that water, they're gonna have to plumb all the way to that hole.
Yeah.
Because we're on
And
hook.
we need the time to say, take our pipe out of it and leave it there
In the ground.
in the ground and bypass the building totally, then they don't have any responsibility to the village whatsoever.
So,
And if they're digging, that would be the time to do it.
so if we could get them to dig that when we did that, if they didn't want to take care of the building.
Yep.
But as I said, they're gonna be wanting to use that well water.
They haven't officially said that.
He did.
He did say that?
No, in that last meeting, he said that we'd probably use it for water.
That would be the best solution.
Yeah, the river, dealing with the state, with the river, water there.
Yeah, if we could just
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that, we don't.
Or probably got to use something like that.
I mean, if they had the equipment there and everything,
Okay, so if we had.
I would say under,
40 grand.
no. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I would just think.
How big a pipe?
I can't believe it cost 10 grand.
how big a pipe is it? 3 inch? 4 inch?
6 inch. Actually, outside the building, that's a 10 inch. If we reduce it down to 6 and build. The other thing is, when we were talking about hydrants, and the only thing I need is hydrant. We can shut off the water at the bottom of like Collins Hill, and that's all there's 2 hydrants up through there. You're right, and Katie Wood feeds off of another one. Hydrants, I assume there's hydrants in Katie. I've never really paid too much attention to that. That might be a conversation for hydrant. Easy for us to do that.
Okay.
I can shoot out just explain it if you want to him and see what his thoughts.
Yeah, I think we need to get all the people that might have
And we're still probably 1.5 hours at least from receiving the ball.
So I'd say we definitely would want to start with RJ, because then we get our end squared away before we even.
right. If he says that we can get by without that hydrant, then that makes it simpler, right?
And there is 2. There's one halfway up the hill that's in the woods that I don't think they can't pump from. I think they run a hose off and do, town water pressure.
Right where the road turns back out.
There is 2. And that runs off of the pretty sure. So I'll reach out to RJ and see if that's an option. Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll just
If it breaks in the well,
we'll notify Alex that we have to do that too when we unhook that well from our system.
sounds good.
Have you spoke with Alex?
I've never met Alex in my life.
You want me to do it since I talked to him last time?
Sure.
Yeah, and tell sort of both options, but he might prefer that one is not in.
Either remove it. Put it in the ground. They might have to get it. Yeah, purchase.
I think you're gonna have to, even from the well, it stubs into that, into a valve, it comes into that building that far. So they're gonna probably have to keep it. In the meantime. The water loss for May was 17%. I put this included water. It's actually just for 13%. Anything over 20%, and it wouldn't be if 1 month went to 29%. You want to see a couple months. It's just things happen with water that there's no excuse. Yeah.
When you flush the hydrants, what is the purpose of that? What does that do?
It first of all keeps your lines cleaner from buildup. You get buildup of minerals and organic matter. So if we pump this way, we flush it reverse, so then it goes, and so it also cleans out any pockets of dents. Every hydrant that isn't used, it gets rusted. So we positively flush it through the hydrant so that there's no chance of it coming back into the system. Even though it's treated with chlorine, there still is that chance that
I have a question about your chlorine too. Is that set up on so that the water's chlorinated daily, once a month, twice a month?
Water's chlorinated when the pump runs.
Hmm.
So it's dosed when it comes into the building, it's dosed there, and then that's pushed throughout.
It's injected, a little stream
So like, the
constantly.
reservoir, what do we do is this system pumps the entire village and fills the reservoir. When the reservoir gets down to a certain level, it kicks on the pump. And sometimes it'll run for 2 hours, sometimes it'll run for 10, because there's a lot of usage in the village at the same time. The reservoir fills very soon. If it kicks on at midnight, it fills quick.
So that's why sometimes there's more of a chlorine smell than other times?
Yeah. Yep. If you're feeding off the reservoir water that's sat up there for a day or two, then it's not going to be as strong.
Right.
Versus when it's fresh and pumped.
Mm.
And it does pass through the entire village to the reservoir. So. Yeah. It just that's it runs on an average about 6 hours a day. There are days where it runs if it runs to so 2 or 3 the next morning. So it really doesn't vary.
Is it more in the summer?
No,
No.
because the colleges are exactly.
I was thinking more like people forgetting to turn their hose off and stuff.
No, I mean, and that once in a while we get that, but no, we actually usually do more during the calendar school year.
Oh.
The elementary schools there.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Dan?
There's cumulative bid.
Oh, yes, I think the cumulative bid that we put out, we didn't receive any responses. Ooh. This is third year going in. So, I met a lot. It's basically the roof is rotting away over the SBRs where all the activity happens. Not in the building with the offices, it's the other.
Did you get a tour?
It's a nice smelling story.
Dan,
It's not forever. I can do.
We'll give you your money's worth.
I give them credit.
Give it a couple of years when all these contractors are out straight.
And that's it, it's a demolition, not something they're gonna have to go back. And they're all just.
Yeah, nobody has time for it.
Nobody has time to look at power.
I don't think we want to bid right now, could we?
Probably be higher.
Everybody's here.
Joe.
Well, fortunately, it's not an emergency.
It's not gonna fall in today, it's on the insurance company's radar every year, they come in, they write it as a recommendation to fix it. They haven't made it a requirement yet, I don't think, see how they can right now, when I walk them through, usually July, I think they come through, I'll be like, we can't find it, it's not insurance like that. It's beyond what I want to tackle as far as I heard.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of man lift work, a lot of safety,
Yeah, it's,
OSHA stuff that we're not.
Yeah.
Involved. So
Do you have a ballpark figure for what it?
we put down 40,000 for this year. It's a guess.
For how
I
much?
had a quote 2 years ago for 30,000, my guy failed to follow through. And with the price of everything, labor, I mean, I would guess probably 50 probably comes through.
we have that money if somebody came along and, right, Rosemary, it's kind of salted away, so to speak. Yep.
I think it's gonna be closer to 75.
I wouldn't be surprised
I know.
Well,
So I said, we still have the option that me and Dan discussed, that he's got it out, remove and replace it.
Well, replace just a cupola sidewalk.
Yeah. But we also have an option of removing.
Leave it open, right?
Work and not putting it back up.
Right.
We're the only ones in the state that's inside a damn building.
was the first cold weather SBR building in the state, so they thought they could move it. They found out since then.
So they could have gone any farther with the jet that they agree.
A little bit different, a lot more water, a lot more water. That's all we see if it's there.
So getting a contractor to just tear it down might be easier than
Put
getting,
it in as two bids, I put one bid to tear it down,
yeah.
one bid to build it back,
Mhm.
so then we can compare. There's also a thought that there's electronics up there that we actually can move down around in.
Oh, yeah.
Spot.
So that's an electrical contractor piece.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
My personal opinion is tear down, it's as expensive as putting it back up. You've got to build a whole subfloor up there, you can't put anything in its tanks.
you guys put some for the tear down.
You have to
That's
build
what-
a whole subfloor up there to work off of.
Mhm.
That's not a pleasant job that anybody's gonna really want to get excited about to do, unfortunately.
Dan, did you ever, check with the electrical, you know, if we do want to put it under that building?
I had
No one has responded?
it's the electrical contractor we use, and he just hasn't been in the area. He's like, it's on his radar, but again, everybody's so busy. They're American, just one time,
It just was,
you know, honestly.
okay.
You know, we could also move some of it closer to Kent Brothers and put a smaller, not as a smaller unit roof
Build a
system, you know,
doghouse
building,
there and-
like an outhouse type of building over it, you know, and that's an option too.
Yes.
So there's not that many electrical things up there, it's just, if it's wide open and it's raining, you're not gonna find electricity in the world, so I'm gonna work on it, and that's what happens. Gotta think about that part of it.
Your preference was to move it to the back.
Yeah, I think long term that'd be the best
Right.
option for sure, but again, that's probably much better. Just throwing that out there,
That's how much it would cost.
just to move that more of that. There is nothing cheap about that.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah.
So maybe we have,
I told you not to.
It's not even for 75,000.
Nope.
Gives you a gas mask.
And it is, it's a lot of man that work the outside.
Thank you, Dan.
All right.
We'll let you go.
Thank you.
You don't wanna hang out.
All right, I'll read Troy's electric department report. The crew completed the following tasks: set a new pole at 120 Sinclair Road in preparation for the installation of a new 200 amp service that will feed 2 residential buildings at that location. Set a pole and anchor for the Old Mill Park service. Completed a new 600 amp secondary service at 38 Lower Main West. Installed a new solar production meter at 1846 Route 100C. Repaired and re-energized the secondary service at 105 Gilman Ave. Repaired street lights at the Village Green and Maple Fields. Contract tree crew began work and removed 11 danger trees, and I saw that they were working because they were right down at the end of my street. The crew also completed monthly meter reading, high load check, substation check, dig saves. Water sewer, the crew completed the following tasks. Water service was turned on at the Old Mill Park Trailhead and Legion Field. Repaired a sewer clean out at 95 Railroad Street. Repaired a water shutoff cap at 80 Lower Main East. Repaired water shutoff at Vermont Studio Center Cafeteria Building. Repaired curb stop cap near the Cold Spring. Turned off water service at 43 Katy Wynn. Completed all spring hydrant flushing. Repaired water shutoff at 94 Pearl Street. General Department, the crew completed the following tasks in the General Department: repaired the flagpole in the Village Green, put up American flags within the village, installed summer banners, removed the MVU banner. All street sweeping was completed in the village. Safety, Nate, Jeff, and Shan completed the annual required pole top and bucket rescue training. Administrative, Troy completed the following administrative tasks: worked with Monroe County Mental Health Engineer to finalize the permit application for a sprinkler system at 599 Lower Main West. Continued to work with the property owner of 93 Lower Main West related to the water sewer permit process and costs. Placed an order for 20 utility poles to maintain the village's inventory. Placed an order for electric line hardware to maintain needed stock. Finished submitting all documents to Passive related to an insurance claim for the repair on the digger boom truck. The village has received the reimbursement check from Passive.
What happened to the truck?
I don't know. I guess it needed some kind of repair. The truck's, you know,
It's an insurance claim, it would get an accident of some kind, right?
yeah, I have no idea. Yep. Continued working with the electrician for the new 600 amp service that will serve the EV charging stations at the Jolly Store. Currently, we are waiting on a cement vault and transformer to complete the project. Had meetings with Lion Electric in the state of Vermont related to the electric bucket truck. Lion Electric proposed standardizing the specs for the truck amongst the 3 Vermont utilities that received grants for them: Johnson, Burlington Electric, and Green Mountain Power. A meeting with all 3 utilities to discuss that idea is being planned. The hope is that standardizing the specs could potentially speed up the manufacture and delivery timeline. Had a meeting with Engineering Ventures at the Village Garage to discuss the next steps for the project. Reached out to USDA to gather more information about the Community Facilities Grant Program, which could cover up to 75% of the project costs. A meeting amongst the Village, Engineering Ventures, and USDA is planned for the week of June 13th to discuss the requirements. So we're going to have a Zoom meeting on that in a few minutes here. Completed water and sewer permit applications for 120 Sinclair Road and 723 Vermont 100C. Created an estimate for 93 Lower Main West for a new 600 amp electric service. Created an estimate for 120 Sinclair Road for a new 200 amp electric service. Started working with a contractor for a new 1,500 foot primary underground line extension for a new building on Plot Road. Attended the June VEPSA meeting virtually. The meeting included an update on the AMI project. Given the amount of time since the vendor provided its initial cost estimate, discussions are underway about revising those figures upward. On a positive note, the state budget, as approved, includes $8 million in funding for AMI, with reimbursement of up to 70% of project costs. This funding should help offset vendor cost increases and keep the project cost of AMI for the village close to the prior estimates. I recommend that the village plan on inviting VEPSA back for an update in July. The VEPSA general manager also provided an update on Barton Village's attempt to sell the electric utility to Vermont Electric Co-op. On May 10th, the Barton Village voters decided not to sell the utility to VEC by a 67 to 33% margin. VEC has given notice that they will cease providing line maintenance for Barton, and the Barton trustees are now trying to determine how to move forward to ensure customers continue to receive the service they need. And this is what we don't want to happen to us.
That's right.
Exactly what we don't want to happen to us. So the one item on there, Diane has agreed to attend the VEPSA meetings. I'm going to notify Troy. It takes about 3 hours, I believe, the VEPSA meeting. And so we're paying Troy $85 an hour. And if Diane goes instead of Troy, that would save the village almost $250. And I believe that she can get the same necessary information, and Ken has said so, I believe, right? That Troy gets from the meeting.
Yeah, I don't know if Walter is still on, but Walter was the rep when he was a trustee.
Does Troy need any of that information to do part of it for him to do it?
I'm going to talk to Troy about it before,
Okay.
to make sure that we're not really stepping on his toes or that he has any real serious objections, but if all of you are in favor of it, you have any feedback?
Yeah, as long as Troy doesn't say by him not going to that, it's gonna leave him out of something he's planning. I don't have an issue if he says, oh yeah, she can go, that has nothing to do with nothing I'm doing. Absolutely, we can save the money there.
Okay. And you can? You're shaking your head?
I made my statement last time that I don't feel Diane's qualified to do that job. I don't feel any one of us on this board are qualified to do that job. Especially with none of us having any electrical background experience with power supply.
Isn't it just getting information?
And that our last general manager said that is the hardest part of the job to learn.
So I have a proposal, Ken. Troy recommends here that we invite Ken Nolan to the July meeting.
Well, why wouldn't Nate go?
Nate's not qualified yet either.
But he knows a lot, I know, but he knows that might be
Nate, there's a 3-man crew right now, and they have a lot of work to do here, and it's an almost all day, well, it's a half a day meeting. So but my proposal is, since Troy's recommending that we invite Ken Nolan here in July, why don't we bring it up with Ken? He's the final authority on electric power, and ask him his opinion about it.
I'm one man on this board, so all I'm saying is I'm gonna state exactly what I said last time.
Okay.
I don't feel any one of us on this board is qualified to be a Bethel registered representative for the village of Johnson.
Is that what you were talking about? Is somebody taking over the rep or just going to a meeting?
Just they go to the meetings, which are once a month, and bring back the information from the meeting for us. So I don't know what Troy has ever brought back to us from a meeting, but
Well, I like your,
we can ask Ken. No,
I like your idea. Ken is coming, let's talk to him, and then let's really make a decision.
Okay.
It'll be the next July. Unless we-
right, because I think Troy recommended that we invite him here for some other reason. There was
The AMI project.
the AMI project,
Yeah.
correct. So is there any other?
Remind the board that the chair said we do not want to be in the position that Barton Village is in right now.
Okay, I
Was Barton Village in right now?
They don't have no line crew.
they
They
resigned
tried to sell their entire power supply.
to Green Mountain. So then the village voted not to sell it to Green Mountain Co-op. So now Green Mountain Co-op is saying, now we're not gonna maintain your lines. So it's an ongoing process. It's been going on for a couple of years, and the Barton Village isn't the only one. The whole concept of little utilities is a kind of got its pluses and minuses. I
Well, I
think.
think some Barton have one quick little sentence. They had inadequate people running the system, and that's why they're in the position they are.
Uh-huh.
I don't want us to do the same thing.
Okay,
Well,
one point well taken.
I went to that meeting that they had to inform the voters of how the whole thing came down. And it was really the trustees who did not, they didn't collect the right information and didn't disseminate it properly. And they got themselves into a pickle.
Because not one of them knew anything about running the public power supply system.
Oh, I don't think that was it at all. You should have gone to the meeting. It was
No,
really
I don't care what goes on in Barton. I'm just making the simple point is that they're in a whole world of shit right now.
Yep.
And we don't need to be in that way just because you feel that you can be a best representative. I'm not knocking your abilities. I'm saying you know nothing about Pepsi besides what you've read in the last month and a half trying to be the best representative. I think there's a lot to it, and our last manager stated clearly, new manager is going to pick up everything but the electrical department in Vexa And it's gonna take them a year to a year and a half to begin to be comfortable with it.
Well, that's.
That's
because
not my
they
words, that was our last
purchased-
meeting.
That's because they purchased the power. That kind of thing, you bring back the information. If we don't have a manager, we're the ones that are going to have to make that decision. Whatever information the person brings back, it is going to be us that makes the decision. Whereas,
Yep, and as you on that Webster representative, and you're there in the meeting discussing with the other things to bring back information to us, you're getting preconceived notions by the other representatives in there. So you're coming back with a pre-idea of how you're gonna want this to go. And that's not treating our residents fairly. We're supposed to have a blank conscience on this and get presented to us. If I'm not mistaken, the Webster guy you were just talking about is our representative until we have one, because we paid him.
you mean Troy?
No,
Or are you
we
talking-
haven't voted a Webster representative. Troy's been doing it automatically
Well, we said he would do it
Until October.
till we.
So we gotta start planning.
We need to put one in the last election, and we didn't do it because I didn't feel Diane was qualified. We have to appoint it each year.
All right, so let's talk to Ken Nolan about what he advises us to do. That's his job, to protect, to work for small utilities, and I think he does it well. And let's trust him. Get his advice.
Or the board knows in general. I mean, really, we can't leave it all up to one person, because that's how,
You can read this, and if somebody can't explain it to you, you still don't know jack.
yeah, but you know a little more than you
I'm
did
just
before.
saying, you can read the paper, and if nobody can come up to answer your questions, you're gonna put all that on Diane to answer all the questions that we're gonna have. She's not gonna grasp it, so she's not gonna have the answers
Well, you know,
until the
when
following
Troy started,
month.
he didn't know all the answers either, and you learn they, step by step. Anyway,
Let's table this till July
And
and see if we
I'd
can.
like to make something clear that Troy was not the Webster representative, Meredith was, and she comes from Burlington Electric.
And I was gonna say she was
I
trained.
think she
to be
was.
like-
And if, we may not be able to find someone like Meredith.
Didn't say we were, I was just making it clear.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a
What's
question
your-
about this other thing. Installed new solar production meter. What does that mean?
A solar production meter is if you have an array and you're measuring how much electricity you're producing because you're getting a credit on your bill.
Oh, so
So
that's
in
somebody's
effect-
property on 100C.
Yeah, it's a private, I don't think that Johnson, I don't know if we have any public solar arrays, so it's somebody's private thing.
Mm,
Yeah, it's
No.
just,
right.
anything else on Troy's report? All right, I'll read the fire department report, which is very short. April 28th to May 26th, Johnson Fire Department responded to 16 calls. 11 calls occurred during the daytime, 5 calls occurred during the nighttime. The average duration was 79 minutes. Nature, those calls were 2 structure fires, 1 debris fire, 3 wildland fires, 2 automatic alarms, 1 CO, 2 alarm or CO alarm, 2 vehicle crashes, 1 medical assist, 3 mutual aids, structure fire, wildland fire, and a station coverage, and 1 other assist, public assist. Staff, the average number of firefighters that responded was 12. Total hours of service is 263. Other, delivery of the replacement helmet order has been delayed until approximately early August due to product availability. That's the story of everything these days. So now we are on the other action items. Village garage next step. So I need to call Paul right now.
Is that on the screen?
Oh, yeah, Paul, can you hear us? I believe that's him.
This is Asher. I'm working with Paul, so I think you still need to call Paul.
Okay. So we're gonna review this.
You should still need to call Paul.
Oh, I still need to call
Yeah.
him. Oh. Hi, Paul, this is Steve Hatfield from Johnson Village. We're actually running 10 minutes ahead of time, if you can believe that. So, right, so we're ready to start our Zoom discussion about our village garage. Okay, thank you. Yep, great. Yeah. We could get started on that. Well,
We don't have any choice. We only want to get a bid.
so are they asking for a raise, Rosemary? Do you know?
They put it in here and it's increased from what it was, so they did raise the rate.
So we just found out something interesting, though. Some of these items that they're supposedly mowing, Dan is actually and his crew are taking care of. So I don't know what we want to do about
We
it.
remove them from it and then warm them. Normal.
Uh-huh.
So we remove it, what, must be the wastewater plant.
So remove those sites off there.
Water department property, 3 sites. And the village wastewater plant.
Is that in our packet, Rosemary?
It's one page, a single page. It was after. Copy of the email. It's after the engineering entrance. A single page.
Gotten discombobulated here.
Between the 2 colored pages of us.
Oh, there it is. It's stuck. Thank you. These costs are unreasonable, and since they're the only guys that we
The
have.
whole year?
Yes. I mean, the only reason they can make money at it is they come in and they zip out
Oh, I know, they
3
do.
or 4 at once, and some of them, those guys with the 0 turns are efficient and quick.
They mow our property, I know. They-
Okay.
Yeah. They're quick.
So basically, simply, we're gonna be removing the $1,100 one, the $264 one, the wastewater plant. So
Right,
that's gonna reduce their estimate down to $1,297.
okay,
So I say we just
So they
respond to them
do-
back that we would remove them 4 sites and. this
So
is
the
what
water
wants to
department
do.
does all of their own.
That's what Dan said.
Yeah.
Water department properties, 3 sites, it does that, and it does wastewater plant.
Yeah.
264.
and then if they ask for an increase, we'll just tell them it balances out, right? Because we've taken off what we thought we were paying them for.
Well, I think we also need to put in, just like the select board did, to need to do it once a week,
To check on it,
to mow it once a week. No.
okay,
They mow every 8 or 9 days.
Yeah, so we have to put it in.
and I think think we need to check on it once every, like 2 or 3 times a season, just to, somebody needs to go around.
I just think that when we send an email back or whatever on this, adjusting the price, say that we want it, and that it's gonna be mowed once a week.
Okay,
It's with a 7-day work week.
So I wonder
And then we'll
whether or
notice
not
it, we'll have to
we're,
go from there and pay attention.
I agree.
whether we're paying Dan's guys more than what we'd be paying Robert.
They're in their budget, so unless we wanna change their budget, I think it'd be. It's already counted.
Yeah, we can't really have Dan's guys, yeah.
We can look at that for next year's budget. but
Yeah,
it's
'cause
already
I'm-
budgeted.
I mean, that's their time, that's time for them. They have a zero.
Dan's guys, we already pay them a lump sum.
So it's already in the budget, so
Right.
if it's something we wanna look at, we can discuss
Yeah,
it.
right.
Change
Yeah.
it next year's budget. So,
Paul must be having trouble getting on.
so do we need to make a motion on this or just accept this and say that the chair will get hold of them and go with?
Let's make a motion, please.
Is this amount, the original amount, is that, with their increase? Is,
This was their estimate for this year, so if they didn't have an increase, good for us,
Okay,
right? I mean, this is what they said they wanted to do all them properties already this year.
and so with this, we'll deduct the 2 and tell them we're gonna pay them the amount that you just said, right, Ted?
There you go. So that's what it is. So 1297. You're gonna take out 1100 and the 264.
Okay,
Unless I did bad math, somebody might wanna check it.
1100 and 264, okay. So we'll notify them of that, Rosemary, and see how it goes.
So I'd say, I don't know if we need a motion or just
Okay.
consensus to say that you can verify that if they're gonna come down to that number, you just tell them that. That makes sense.
It does.
Or Rosemary, do you think we need a motion on it or just? You guys agree?
I agree. So that item is taken care of.
Somebody's on the phone, Steve. I'm not sure if that's that guy.
That must be Paul. Hello, Paul? Can you hear us? Do you know how to do anything with it?
It's on his own.
Hello?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
He's probably, when I was trying to get in, it was hard, the agenda was
How
sent
about
as a.
Oh, no, he's on.
There's call, yeah.
Yeah. But sorry, I think they must have done an update. I haven't been on Zoom in a couple weeks and it won't let me in, so.
Yeah, I can't hear it. Literally.
We gotta go one of those
Yeah, we need
speakers.
to get a bigger speaker. Can we can do that, right? Just a,
Just bring my little speaker glass.
you just get a Bluetooth speaker, right? Or,
Now, we'll be over.
we're just seeing telephones, so.
is this the speaker from here?
Yeah, it's on the computer.
Just USB.
Or plug in on the side if it's around for. Regular microphone, speaker, earphones, stuff.
We're ready, Paul, can you hear us?
I can. Sorry, this is not the best format with me on the phone, but
We're gonna try.
might take it in this time.
we might have lost.
I'm still here.
Yeah, Asher's there, right? Got it
Yeah.
covered.
Okay. So you're gonna give us a summary of the, brief summary of our meeting and the two, conclusions we arrived at, or I should say, the two, possible paths we can go with this project.
Either one of you.
Paul, did you
I-
catch
I-
that?
I didn't, unfortunately.
I think he was
Let me
looking
try-
for.
I think I might be almost in. Here we go. All right, now I'm finally back in, I think.
Yeah, you sound clear now.
Okay. How about now?
Yes.
Okay. An echo, but other than that, good. Sorry about that. Okay.
Y'all may have to repeat your first question because I don't think Paul caught the question.
Okay, so, you're gonna go through a summary, basically, of the, two possibilities for us to.
Is his last name?
Boisler, B-O-I-S-E, yeah.
Hey, Paul, you need to unmute. If you can hear us. That's great.
Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, can you hear them at all?
We can hear you.
That's action.
You can hear me, but you can't hear Paul. I'm not sure. Doesn't seem like you can hear me either.
Yeah, we can hear you, but I don't think Paul can. So maybe we need to reschedule this meeting, I'm not sure.
Well, maybe. I mean, I think one of the questions was about what forms of contract delivery the USDA, if you were looking for financing through the USDA, what they would allow. And I think maybe Paul and Troy have a meeting scheduled with the USDA tomorrow or sometime this week.
No, it's not scheduled yet. We were trying for tomorrow, and Troy has not heard from that person, Misty Cincigali. So I'm assuming that Troy is hoping she will set up the Zoom meeting from her end. And that Troy and I, and maybe one of you and she can participate, and we can determine what our next steps for the project.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so
one of the things I neglected to do, I had a long list of things I needed to do to preparing for today, and I did not contact our attorney. I did review our procurement policies. Rosemary emailed me that, but I need to touch base with our attorney, because I'm pretty sure that for any federal or state monies, we're probably gonna have to get at least 2 bids, and that's gonna, but the big question is, do we need to get another bid for the piece of work that you folks did, but I'm thinking, since basically it was free through a grant, that I don't think it makes much sense to try to get another bid for something that was free.
Let's say this was already done though, Steve, so this part of it should be all over with. The next portion he's discussing is for the finance.
But that was their question.
Was about this contract.
That was one of the questions they had on here, was do we need to, it's under next steps and examples under B. Village attorney to give overview of the procurement bylaws and clarify if the architecture engineering services need to be publicly bid.
Right. There's two separate questions. How, for the remaining design and engineering, do you need to go back out to bid? And then the other question is, when you want to procure the construction services, do you have to bid them, or can you use a modified bid process like a CM delivery process? Right. And, I think we were saying CM is sort of better for the intricate type of work that is, but I don't think there's any problem with a hard bid process either. So that one's just like, we need the answer and then we can figure out the best way forward. And right now, actually, the market might be better as a hard bid. It's a small project and it's pretty far from where a lot of these contractors are.
Okay. I mean, since we don't really have a village manager, my preference would be to go with whatever is the least amount of work for us, because it's kind of beyond our expertise and time. And the one that makes the most sense for me is the one that involves professionals doing it and not us. So, but if that's the more difficult one to get a bid on, then maybe we have to think about the first option.
Yeah, and both options involve professionals. They just involve them in different ways. So let's get the answer from USDA and then we can move forward from that.
Right, we'll get the answer from them, and I'll try to get a clear answer from our attorney about what we need to do, what he believes we need to do.
That'd be great.
We can meet again. I wanted to just bring up one thing real quickly. Tourangeau had an idea of the possibility of us just getting the heating system before this fall.
Well, and adding the air scrubber.
An air scrubber, and putting that in, since that would probably, hopefully, eliminate a lot of the problem, and we wouldn't have to go through another winter. But I guess that's all for next year to look at.
Yeah. The each portion of the design of a commercial building project has the engineers that focus on, like we focus on the space and the building envelope, and the structural engineer focuses on the structural, and the civil, that's Hannah, would focus on the stuff that's outside, utilities and moving water around. And so the part of the team that we haven't even really involved yet is the mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers focus on designing something like that air exchange, the heat recovery system. We could try to hustle up the process so that, I mean, they're busy, dollars are busy as well, but we could certainly contact those engineers and just make that a discrete portion of the work ahead of the rest of the work, because it's the same piece of equipment. You're going to buy it now or buy it later, right?
Correct. You're going to reuse it later. So if that could get us through this winter and get the construction, the new project, or this project pushed off till next year when everything maybe calmed down a little bit, where we can actually get bids, because even with the size of this project, it's still not very huge. I'm afraid if we get one bid, we're going to be lucky.
Yeah. Well, I could take that as an action item, but basically I would try to, I can't remember if Paul had mechanical engineers in his original proposal to you, but I would just look at who he had. It's not his company or my company, it's a different company, like it would be a consultant. And we can just call them and see if they have the capacity to design that discrete system before, like, and put some bid documents together so you can have a couple mechanical contractors bid on that.
I mean, if Paul don't think it's even a feasible option, don't waste any time on it, you know what I mean? I just thought it could get us off for another year to be able to hopefully get a manager to help us get the grants, know what the hell to say to you guys. You know, I mean.
Yeah, no, I get it. It makes sense. I think it's kind of like what we call a stopgap measure, right?
Yeah.
We'll have a conversation and see if we can get someone to provide those services, and if we can, it might just be step by step. They're going to want to have a contract with you, and if you have to bid that, we're back to the same question we're asking. But maybe there's some sort of, I don't know, you can make a emergency determination that you need to do it because of the speed of the trying to get the air exchanger in there.
Yeah, no, Rosemary, the village have a procurement policy, it doesn't.
Okay, Asher, so the plan is I'll reach out to Troy and we'll try to set up this meeting with the woman, Misty Cincigali from USDA, and you'll check on the mechanical piece there that we talked about, and we'll try to get together for some meeting sometime in the very.
That sounds great.
Okay, and hopefully we'll have better luck with the Zoom, especially if you're doing it on USDA's equipment and not ours.
Yeah. No, I think Zoom seems fine on my end. You guys are pretty far from your microphone, so it's a little bit hard to catch sometimes. But I think Paul's issue was something on Paul's end because he just texted me and said his whole computer is down. So I think it's just the gremlins in the technology.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Take care. Have a good night.
Thank you. I think when we first did this to get these guys to do our engineering report, they were received, that's why we could be.
This was for, oh, was it? It was.
Yeah, they gave us a bid to do it.
Yeah, she got a grant.
And it was the only one we received. That's why we went. So if we put it out in our standard time, where we only received one, then we can go with that one. If we need to do it again to get two or three.
But there's two things we're working with. We're working on our policy, and then we have to satisfy the USD, the federal or state policies.
Yeah.
So
it's really nice because we can adjust ours if needed. So let's just keep that in mind if we need to for this project. I think if we can definitely work with that air scrubber situation, get it put on for a year so that they can use the building safely.
I agree.
I think that's going to be our best bet. Now, whether or not that USDA grant part is going to be not there, then we'll have to look into it. But
Because the USDA grant has to be in by December.
That's what we need to talk to this woman about. We don't really know. The only person that might even know anything about it is Meredith at this point, or Troy. So,
and if it will it cover if we just do partial?
We don't know. We need to get.
Generally, you have to complete the project to get all the funds complete. Am I right?
But if this whole project is going to cost us close to $1 million, and they're going to pay three quarters of it, that is huge.
Yes, and I'm not saying let's put it off if that's a scenario. I'm just saying that
it's worth looking
it's
into.
probably going to be more than $1 million. You know what I mean? We got 25% of everything right now. It's really, it's not changing. So unless something seriously starts changing in the scheduling and everybody starts getting canceled on, we're not gonna get a contractor that seems to want to do this job. $1 million seems like a lot of money to us. It's not for Engelberth and them guys. It's a small project. And whether we can get, what is the ones that are working down here in town, McDowell's, or there's a bunch of them, but they all do that same stuff. They work on sidewalks, they work on that stuff. They're engineering contractors, so.
And don't forget, you'll have to go out to Ballman, and that will need a village vote.
Yeah, and that's where we might be hiring this
And
Diane
then
Lehouiller.
for the primaries, right?
The primary is August.
Well, if we can do it in November, we still be able to get it submitted by December if it's approved, I guess. Who was the one that found out about this grant? Was it Troy and these guys?
Troy and Meredith. I'm pretty
So
sure.
then we ought to try to find out if to get rolling or to figure out on that, contact that lady that does.
Diane Lehouiller. Yes.
And
Yeah.
say, this is what we're looking at.
I'm hoping all this can happen.
You said a small amount of 500, Steve, to get her to go say, yeah, I can get you this one, or no, we shouldn't. You know what I mean? That might be a quick option for this.
I'm hoping this can all happen like next week or real soon, but with Troy and at least talking to this lady, and then talking to Diane Lehouiller, once we talk to her and finding out, can she even help us write this grant?
The problem is what she's gonna charge for it. Well, she makes a percentage of it, so $750,000 grant.
I think she told me she works by the hour. She does not work by percentages.
Well, Greg did say he weren't sure, but he thought that's how she did.
I'm pretty sure.
Hopefully he's wrong and you're right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what she told me. Awesome. But we'll get more information from her.
And she gets paid whether we get the grant or not.
Correct. Once the grant's submitted, she gets
So if she gets a percentage of the grant and we don't get the grant, that won't be pretty.
No, it's not. I don't think it's.
She won't get it. If we don't get the grant, she doesn't.
Yeah. No, we'll find out. So let's see, on the agenda, we did the water sprinkler system. Okay, so that's, we need to discuss that and approve it, correct? This is the, it's also.
County Mental Health, is it? Memorial County Mental Health is blue.
Oh, it's blue.
Yeah, it's this one. It's like- all messed up.
I do, I get. Yeah, I see what color it's supposed to be, I just don't. Thanks. All right, so this is the Will County Mental Health 599 Lower Main West. And they're asking for approval for a sprinkler system. And according to what I believe Troy told me, we don't discourage anyone putting in a sprinkler system because it's a safety thing. And so I think
looking for a motion?
That's what I am looking for.
I motion that we allow the water permit for sprinkler system for 599 Lower Main West, Will County Mental Health Services, Inc.
And is there a second to Ken's motion?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes in favor as well. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Will County Mental Health.
Now we have powerhouse site discussion. Do you want to do this, Diane?
Sure. So I think everybody received the email about the powerhouse site. And I talked to Seth Jennison from LCPC, and basically he would like if you have permission to contact, the Department of Environmental Conservation and the EPA, because that needs to be the next step. And he needs that to be a request from the village.
So this is to check for the PCPs and stuff, make sure that it's allowable use for what we
I
want.
think they're gonna look at the whole site.
Right, just to make sure that it's allowable use for people to be there.
Yeah.
So is this an amendment to an Act 250 permit?
I don't know that.
I don't know, did we have to get an Act 250 permit to rip that down? Being on the water in brownfield?
No,
So then there shouldn't be no amendments needed, so as long as you're checking with the EPA and the water.
I think once he does all of that, then he's going to tell us what the next steps will be,
Yep.
for the project.
So as far as the concrete that was left there, I don't know if any of you can refresh my memory, but didn't it have to be hauled out of there?
No,
It can be buried by the
It can be
water.
covered over, right?
it can be covered over, and grassed over. And in the future, if we want, it can be kind of a ramp to access from the top part of Route 100.
Just seems silly that we had to rip that out of there and we can put it back in. We're forced to remove it.
Right.
And now we're allowed to use it as fill back at the same area.
Well, if it's covered.
It just don't make much sense to reality.
Well, we've removed a lot of other stuff that we did haul away.
Yeah, but it was the PCBs that they're after and then all the concrete. I just, like I said, it just don't make sense to me that they made us remove it and then we can use it for fill.
But wasn't it part of the foundation or the?
That was the foundation
Yeah,
that's
so we had
there.
to remove that.
And then we had to leave the concrete there on site because it's at the bottom of the PCB.
And we didn't want to ship it away.
No,
Because
it
it's too
was millions of
expensive.
dollars, yeah.
That's right. So now we need to finish the whole thing and if they okay it, we're going to cover it, seed it and have it look nice.
Okay, have they looked into any grant for this?
No, that's gonna be the next step.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
be finding grant money for it.
So you're looking for permission from the board to let them ask the
Contact
questions?
EPA and the Department of Conservation.
So motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
More discussion.
So they're just gonna continue to come back with us, though, right, Diane, and inform us. Nothing's happening, they're gonna get their information, come back and say, yes, they said we could do this, this, and this.
Yep,
And now we should look for this grant.
exactly.
And the grant will be for the labor to do all the work.
Yeah, and I costed out, like picnic tables and umbrellas and, stuff to make it look really nice. And it really only comes to like $13.50.
That's the
Yeah,
cheap part.
that's the
cheap part.
Wait till you get the equipment there.
Right.
It doesn't need much leveling at all. And this is just the first step in something that we might want to do. That's,
If you just leave the fence there that they put up, which is a pretty together fence, it's not gonna, there's a
I
space.
think it looks great. I was
There's a
just-
narrow space there that could be like weed whacked and a couple picnic tables and people can sit and look down at the river.
I just didn't want to commit any money. That's all.
Yeah. Well, we can also ask this Diane Lehouiller to look for a grant for us for that. There's a possibility.
Because it's just my opinion. If we can get a grant to do it all, we do it now,
Yeah.
I'd rather see them work on it now till fall and nobody will ever use it till spring. Than to do just a small little sitting till spring and then we're gonna rip it all up again, nobody's gonna be able to use it next year.
Backtracking.
Yeah, so I mean,
Do it, we can do
I think it's a
it.
great idea because it's within your mind walking that distance.
Yeah, no, it's.
And that whole section of road is so busy.
it's so
It is.
dangerous.
And there's so many people.
I'm still kind of scared about them coming around that corner and, little kids and stuff that close to the road. So maybe when we continue this project, maybe we can ask the state to extend that guardrail.
If we do this project, then they will consider doing, the V-Trans will consider doing work on that site to make it safer
Right.
for pedestrians.
Extend that guardrail solves
So
all
this
of
is
our,
the
pretty much all
beginning
our
of it.
problems right there.
And it shows that we are willing to do stuff, so it's a good thing to do. So I think
Great, okay,
that's it.
sounds good. Thank you, Diane, for doing that.
Really vote on it.
We were still in discussion.
And also the, it just seemed like maybe you were about to do one of the next thing.
We probably were.
The motion also was like maybe a little vague, it was just to, contact EPA and the DEC, but I wonder if you wanna give a little more detail about what you're contacting them about, or what you're asking them to do.
It's,
It was to look into site restrictions and make sure within the boundaries, we're staying within the boundaries of the report about contamination. So that it's the Loyal County Planning Commission, is that what it is?
the Loyal County Planning Commission needs us to give him permission to contact DEC and the EPA regarding the site and what
Can be done?
we need to do about it. And he is also going to look into possible grants for the site.
Yeah, paragraph down there, you want me to spit it out?
Well, I guess it's still a little vague, but.
You wanna read it back?
Well, I guess what you have is that you're giving permission to LCPC to contact the DEC and the EPA. And about all I have is regarding the site and what we need to do about it, or what.
What it can be.
on the site.
What it can be used for and what we can do with contaminated material, I believe is the major question.
Yes.
That work for you?
So,
All right, so we have a motion
1 second.
and we've had a discussion. We have a second? You always second things. Any more discussion? All right, well, we can have a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Chair votes aye, motion passes. Last item on the agenda is your item, Ken, right of way for banners.
Yeah, just really quick, about the last one. Do we need to do something as the board, Diane, or were you just gonna tell him and he was good with that?
What's that?
You said the board needed to okay it, so we're just okaying it and then he's good with
Are you talking
the
about?
not he, the Mo County Planning Commission.
Oh,
So they're good with just us okaying it.
Yeah, he needs our permission to have him do.
Don't need
that.
nothing in writing, just.
No, no.
Did you guys sign this down here yet? The
The other one that came through.
the sprinkler system for mental health?
Yep.
So there was brought to my attention that over at Pearl Street where we hang the banners, there's never been a legal right of way from the town to the building.
From the town? From the town?
Yes, it's towns. We have a right of way to go across their highway. And there was never a legal, there was just an agreement between the boards. I asked Rosemary, she's pretty sure that that's what the situation be. I asked Eric Osgood, he's pretty sure that's the situation also. So with what happened last year with the BLM banner, it's nothing against the banner, that it blew down and all that, that could have been a nightmare. So I want the banners up. I want NVU to have their banner up. So I think we need to contact the select board, figure out what we gotta do to make a legal right of way. So that we can legally have our guys hang stuff there and not be liable either direction. I think this could be really quick. The town's just gonna say yes. So then it's just a couple of legal papers. So I think it's something that we should start now before they come to ask to hang the banner again, or before NVU happens in the fall.
So do you think we should contact Brian Moynihan and ask him to write up something simple for it?
I think first thing, maybe you contact Beth
Beth.
and say,
Mhm.
this is what we know, this is what we would like. I'm sure you guys are gonna agree to it. Gonna have our lawyers fix this.
Okay.
So I think it's probably gonna be the village's responsibility on legal because we want the legal right away.
How come the town doesn't put the banners up?
Because the town don't own the lines we do.
We own the.
It's the
I
village.
take that back. We own half of it and Comcast or the phone company, whoever owns the other one.
But it's our crew that puts them up and down. They use our bucket truck. It's our electric
Our
truck.
cables across it, so we. To be illegal right away. We just went through this with, remember with down hooking up the power on the other side, and the state bumped it through and this town did really quick. So I think it happened really quick.
Yeah, so when that blew down, that cost us, what, $200 or $300 easily, right?
It was overtime, it was all.
3 guys or 2 guys.
And to put it up, take it down, put it back up and take it down again. So, like I said, it's nothing to do with the banner, it's all that right away. If that banner would have blown off and cleaned out whoever, if it's Comcast, whoever's lines and the power lines on a holiday.
Then we would have been up shit's
Yeah,
creek.
there was a total shit show when it happened, so we don't want that again, you know, so I think a simple, I don't see no reason, Rosemary, they aren't gonna have an issue with.
Yeah, I'll contact Beth and then I'll contact Brian Moynihan.
Yeah.
All right, because I gotta contact him anyway on the procurement policy, and yeah.
And like I said, I think it can be done quickly because it's a mutual agreement between all parties, so it's simply just a quick legal document. There's no survey needed, and it can be worded existing setup. Like I said,
Thank you, Ken. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I have something. So he was working with Mike on the Green Mountain TV stuff, all this stuff. Do you want me to try to figure out something for that computer so we have an external speaker?
Please.
So we're able to hear anybody we work with on Zoom?
Absolutely.
I was gonna say that's gonna be pretty simple.
Yeah, like under $200 external speaker. I just don't know if we're going $24 Walmart.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you want to do
I was gonna say my speakers.
And the town should split it with us too.
Yeah, if they're gonna be using it.
Because it's half.
Yeah, but do we want to go dollar store or do we want to go actually something decent?
They're gonna do it for pretty cheap.
but I will add that, when the town did their wish list for the ARP money the other night, that was brought up that we should upgrade our system
To here. Because I've been mine from home just to see how it
One
works.
thing that everybody needs
Because I've been
is to
home.
be able to mute, because Steve, I know you sat there the other night with me, since how we're the only ones on Zoom and you couldn't hear a damn thing. Cause they talked over, if one person way over there said something while Beth was
I
speaking.
could hear when I was on Zoom.
yeah, it's terrible.
When we were in California, we could hear the audience, but we couldn't hear you.
It was not good.
Yeah, it was.
The only reason the other night that I could get anything was that Beth was writing it down. Somebody, you, Rosemary, were typing it in, right? And she was writing it down, or Brian was typing it in. And that was my extent of the communication I got from it. I mean,
So maybe if we, like I said, it can't be that much, and I don't care who buys it, whether we split it with the town or not, so.
Yeah.
I think we definitely should do something with that.
Can't you just do wireless?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I got one at home that we have in our bathroom.
a Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's about this big. I got it at Best Buy or something like that. But if I can bring that in and hook up the system, we might just buy it. I'll come to you guys and we might just buy the same exact thing.
And mine was
Sounds
just
like
big
a
and
plan,
it
DJ.
blasted the whole hallway
Great.
at the manor.
And then to go along with the communication part of it, I think when we have public speaking, we need to ask them to step up to the mic and sit back down, because that would help a lot, so.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.